All right. Let me ask you some of my questions here. Again, so super casual. I can see in your About Me section that you never thought you'd open a home care business. So my first question is, what were your initial plans that you thought the business ownership would look like? And what space was that you were originally thinking?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to own a franchise. I didn't really know what area that would be. Actually, I did know what area that would be. I always thought that it would be the food industry, and I never mentioned that publicly. I just mentioned that to my family and friends. So in 2022, I think was the time where someone from LinkedIn reached out to me, Jonathan Pace. I believe he has a great relationship with the Homewatch Caregiver brand. And he was asking, have I ever been interested in joining a franchise? And I was like, I didn't even know that franchise brokers existed. So we started having a conversation about different things. He put together a profile for me and I ended up getting pregnant, put it on the back burner. And then being that we were working from home, I was working my corporate job. After I had my baby, I reached back out to Jonathan and said, hey, let's just see what's out there. So we put together another profile, and this was the very first one that was presented to me. I'm a woman of faith, and this was definitely a faith move of God telling me, hey, this is the one. You need to hire your mother-in-law. She had been a nurse for over 40 plus years. And that's how we started this journey. So we're here two and a half years later into this venture, and it's been very rewarding.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes you just need that little roadmap, that little push to be like,
Mhm.
this is where I'm meant to be. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank
So
you.
you brought up your mother-in-law, and I see your husband is also involved in the business. So can you share a little bit about what it's like, having it be a true family business and working with your mother-in-law and your husband?
Well, we have actually restructured since. So that was our initial. I'm actually having a brand photo shoot tomorrow. So I will be updating the page. So my mother-in-law, she ended being with the company last year. And then my husband started it. But of course, he has other ventures. So right now, it's myself. I have an operations manager, Janella Sapp. We just hired last week a sales and marketing manager. So that his name is
Oh,
Chris.
okay.
We have office administrator, Miss Rhonda, and then I have a director of nursing that will help us to really branch out into the skilled nursing side. And her name is Sandra Golding. So that's the dream team right now. We also are getting ready to expand in 2025. So my mom, my biological mom, will be coming on as the office administrator for the other territory.
Mm. Oh, wow. Big
Yeah,
changes.
big
Well, that's
changes, a lot of changes.
that's exciting though. I mean, they helped you get everything started and now you're kind of expanding and
Yes,
branching out even further. So you are interested in the skilled nursing service
absolutely.
line. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I know you're a mom to three. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So I have a bonus child, my oldest. I've been in his life since he was two. So he's a sophomore. And then we have a 7 year old that goes to private school. And then we have a 3 year old that goes to daycare. So I am super busy
Super
with
busy.
all different aspects of being a boy mom.
And how do you balance it all? The momming, I have two kids of my own, the full-time job, running your own business, having
Yeah.
all these different responsibilities. How do you manage it all? How do you kind of take care of you?
Yeah, just one day at a time. I definitely so when Todd came to my office, we were talking about this. When I first started this business, I was full-time AT&T slash Cricket, full-time this business, full-time mom of three, full-time student. I was getting two masters. So I did that for a full year. So everyone was like, you are absolutely insane. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself? But I just take it one day at a time. The things that are placed in front of me are purpose driven and I have the capacity. I make the capacity and the time to do so. And I literally take it one day at a time. From a self care perspective, I am the brunch friend. So anytime my friends say they want to go and get something to eat, I definitely make time for that because that's just my safe haven of being able to decompress. And then I try to take Fridays off to be able to just have a self care day.
Nice. Nice. I like the one day at a time. You have to when you got a lot on your plate. So very good mantra.
Mhm.
Um, what are some of your favorite things in the last 2.5 years about being a Homewatch Caregivers franchise owner?
I would say the impact the impact on the community, the seniors. I've had many come and go, many pass away, and just to be able to hear from the family that I don't know what I would have done without you, it just warms my heart. Also being able to provide jobs within the community. I never thought that I would be an entrepreneur to this magnitude. So it's definitely changed my perspective, how I look at things, how I want to show up in my community. So just the impact in going for everything that's going to help my community. I go for grants. I'm getting ready to work on solidifying some federal government contracts, all of those different things where I can make as big of an impact as I can within my community. And that's what it's about for me.
Absolutely. How many caregivers, give or take, do you have working for you?
I have a bit between 25 and 30. So I
Okay.
say up to 30 because we have some that are in onboarding, but sometimes that doesn't always go as planned. So between
Right.
25 and 30 right now.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's great. So many people to give jobs to and to provide care for the family. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Um, so, a couple more questions for
Yeah.
you. What are some key areas and efforts that you attribute to your success? Like, what's the secret sauce? What's Erica's secret sauce?
My secret sauce is my faith and my determination. I remember when we first started and it just wasn't going as quick enough as we wanted it to. We only had a couple of clients. I remember my mother-in-law always calling and saying, "Are you okay?" Every week, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay," because I know that this is going to turn out exactly how it's supposed to turn out. But I have to get up every single day and work it until I see
Right.
what's coming. And that's the thing for me. I tell people there's nothing special about me, but I just have a huge faith and I have work ethic that is out of this world. And I'm going to make sure that it happens no matter what. I don't give myself excuses. No is not an option for me. If you tell me no, I'm going to find another way to make it
I think you were born to be an entrepreneur with that mindset.
happen.
So I'm glad you found your calling.
Thank
Um,
you.
so we talked about your staff a little bit. What are some ways that you encourage and kind of motivate your staff? Like, what do you see that's been successful to kind of really get them excited and, all the impact that they're making in the community?
Yeah, so we've implemented a rewards program. So they get, of course, depending on how many shifts they pick up or different things, we're able to give them rewards that they can cash in for gift cards. So that's been huge.
Okay.
Um, we celebrate once a year at our anniversary. So we bring everybody together just to say thank you, allow them to bring their families, and we all have a great celebration. In addition to that, I actually just won a grant. So I'm going to, in 2025, be offering free therapy services for my care professionals to be able to have someone to talk to because a lot of them are going through different things and they need an outlet. So I'm always thinking of different ways in which I can provide, that safe haven for them. So that's going to be something that we're going to be offering as well. And then I hope to, as I continue to grow, to be able to add those benefits. They do have vacation, but health insurance and all of those different things are coming down the pipeline as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, free mental health is huge, huge. It's so hard to secure a therapist and then to pay for a therapist. I mean, huge benefit for sure. That's
Thank-
awesome.
Thanks.
So what are these kind of a twofold question, but what are some recent achievements that you're proud of? You mentioned the grants, of course, and then maybe forecasting out like what's something that gets you excited in the next year or two here with your franchise.
Yeah, so I did have an opportunity. I've actually won 3 grants in the last month. So I went through
Mhm.
an accelerator program called Start Pivot Grow, and I went through that program. It was great. I was able to pitch my business, and I won 15,000. Then I went through another cohort, which is the Atlanta Black Chambers, and it was focused on capital readiness and federal government contracting. And I won first place in that pitch contest, which was
Wow.
$1,000. I recently won a $5,000 grant for, I think it's Pure Tea Grant, Pure Leaf Tea. And that one was $5,000. And that was focused on workplace culture. So that's where I'm going to use that to be able to provide the therapy services for our
Nice.
employees. And then just going forward, we're expanding into making a Warner Robins, which I'm very excited to do. I have some other stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes as well. So there may be some other ventures coming down the pipeline. And then eventually, once I get that territory established, I want to go into 4 other regions. So I want to go into Savannah, I want to go into Augusta, Columbus, and Valdosta, Georgia.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's awesome. What my last question, but what advice might you have for either a current fellow franchisee with Homewatch Caregivers or someone who's thinking like, is this for me? I don't know. What advice do you have now being 2.5 years in?
I would just say set your goals and go for it. Like there's nothing that we can't accomplish. I'm a living testimony of all of the things that I had on my plate. I was able to get it done. So let's not give ourselves excuses. Let's set those goals and let's work the resources that we have and do whatever we need to do to make the revenue that we want to make, to make the impact that we want to make, because it's out there. There's opportunities. So just go for it. That's my thing. You got to have the work ethic. You got to have the faith to push yourself to do it, even when you don't see what you're wanting to see at that present time, knowing that it's going to happen in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. All great stuff. Those were my formal questions for you. Do you have anything else you want to share? I know we talked about a lot from the beginning to where you're going, but anything else you want to share?
I nothing in particular. I will say that there's for those that may be on the same journey as me, private pay is a hard sector in my area because people can't afford it. So really try to lean in on the resources that are out there within your community to see what you can do to still be able to provide those services for those that can't afford it. That's a huge thing for me, is making sure that I don't, right now, I've had to turn some people away because
Mm.
unfortunately they can't afford it, but I don't want that to be my legacy that I leave within my community. I want to be able to do it all. So definitely seek those resources that are out there, government resources, grants, things of that nature that will help you to make the impact that you want to make.
Right. And where do you find like the 3 current grants you were just awarded? Is there some resource that you've been using to find like federal, state, local level grants?
So the accelerator programs that I went through were local,
Okay.
and those are, I think I found those. There is one website that I go to. I think they've rebranded it, but it was originally called Mobile Millennial. So they have a paid version and they have a free version as well, where they have all of the accelerator programs, different grants and things that are out there. Those are more like organization based, not government type based. There's also Hello Skip that has a lot of different grants out there as well, and they have the accelerator programs also. From a government perspective, you can go to grants.gov, and I haven't tapped into the federal contract space yet. I'm getting ready to do some training on that so that I will have a better understanding of how to do business with the federal government.
Mm. Yes, I'm sure that that will be a cumbersome process.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it because I know there's money out there. I just have to tap into it, and I'm going to do it.
Oh, I believe 100% you're going to do it. Next year we'll have a follow-up conversation. You're going to tell me all the
Yes,
spaces that you're in.
absolutely.